Hey everybody, good evening. It's about 6:45 p.m. on the 20th of December 2021. It is the Monday after Quad Witch, and we've had a pretty boring day in the market so far. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to cover all of the crypto atmosphere. I want to take a look at the stock atmosphere as well. If you have any requests that you want me to take a look at, go ahead and put those in the chat. I'm going to repeat myself quite a few times throughout the duration of this. I do plan to be live for quite a while this evening. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Before I get into any of this, of course, as you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research, and I'm just giving my opinion on the market. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at some things here. I'm going to start with our good friend Bitcoin. One of the things earlier in the day today I was talking about was our indicator. And so our indicator had been talking about potentially buying. And so I went into today a little bullish on Bitcoin, and I was, talking about some take profit areas and whatnot. But what I want to do, I want to take a look at this now and just kind of see where things are. I want to focus back here on the 12th. December the 12th. We had a push up, and we had a pretty bullish cross in most major moving averages. But there's one area in particular, which is right here, where we had the 55 and the 100 tried to cross, and they couldn't. All right. Then we have that again over here, where we had the 55 and the 100. That was about on the 16th of December, and it tried to cross, and it didn't. And in both times where that happened, we saw a sell-off that occurred right afterwards. So where are we at right now in relation to all of this? Well, in my opinion, we are approximately right here in all of it. So you basically have the 55 kind of curling upward, right? So we had the 55 was moving down, and it's starting to curl upward. And I think that's kind of where we're at right here, which leads me to believe it's possible that we do see some higher prices. It's possible we see higher prices. Now what we saw here, we saw rejection off this 200 simple moving average. It did break up and went above the 200 exponential, and then it failed. And then back here, we saw a little bit of a rejection, but it pushed up and it stayed above the 200. And then it tried to push up above this 200 exponential, and then it failed. All right, so where are we at right now? We had a push to the 200, both on the exponential and on the simple moving average. The red is the 200 simple moving average, and that purple moving average is the 200 exponential moving average. We saw rejection off of that, and then we saw a little bit of a sell-off. But what are we creating here? This level right here, which is the 100% equality. I'll touch on that here in just a second. At 45,750. We saw a push down here, a push back here, a push down here, but each time it was making a lower high after lower high, and we're already starting to form a little bit of a lower high. It is looking weaker every push up that we're getting. So I do have to be a little bit cautious moving forward. But what I can see here is we had a real strong move above the 200 simple. We had a little bit of a weaker move up above the 200 simple. We had rejections off the 200 simple, and it did wick through, right? We have not wicked through the 200 simple on the 1 hour. So that is an area of concern. What's my downside target for this? It would be somewhere down here about 44,650. It is possible that we break down here. Now, the significance of this level that I outlined at 45,750 is taken from this dominant pivot high, this dominant pivot low, and then we've got our internal retracement, the pullback here, the 100% equality target, which we talk about that pretty frequently. If you watch any of my videos, I talk about that a lot. We have the 100% equality down here. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the bottom, right? We've tested it 3 times. That is concerning to me. The more times you test a key level, the more likely it is to break at some point. Now, either that's up or that's down, right? So in this case, we're testing it to the downside. So I'm going to put a little bit of a channel on this guy for right now. So we've got our highs, and then we've got our lows. Right here, we tried to push down. It didn't exactly, break down. right? But our next low is going to be down here about 44.7, right? So we're talking into Christmas. So let me compress this a little bit, zoom out, and I'm going to pull this out a little bit here because this channel I think is actually pretty darn important for us. Okay, so if I'm looking at this as an ABC, all right, let me get my tools up here. If I look at this as an ABC, basically down here we have an A, B, C into the A, B. I think we're working on the C to put in the B, and then I think we're going to go down for the C. I think it's going to take some time, but I think probably into Christmas, I do think we are going to see, everybody's been saying, so, funny stuff like, oh, when is Santa coming to town? When are we going to get these discounted prices? I mean, honestly, if you're looking for discounted prices, we're getting right here. We had a high of almost 70,000 not that long ago. Okay, and the price has gone down significantly since then. So, I mean, really, in actuality, after we had this big capitulation down, I do have to be somewhat bullish. I do believe that it is going to come up here to my upside target, which is going to be somewhere between 52 and 54. I actually believe that that's going to happen. We have a good signal on our waves indicator where we've got the 1 hour and the 3 hour. Even the 12 hour is pretty low, where the 12 hour had been moving sideways throughout the duration of this entire move. And then finally, after we had this move down, it made it start to move down. So it looked like it was getting into that oversold state, which we like to get to. So this B, where is it going to land? I'm really not quite sure. I would love to get another touch at this upper, right? I'd love to get another touch at the upper. If not, then we're looking at something along these lines, right? We still got this touch down here, right? And notice, let me just make that adjustment again. Notice I didn't change the bottom, right? You see the bottom, we've got a touch here, we've got a touch here, and a push through. But if I move this down to this level here, what we now have is a perfect touch down here, which again, what this could mean is that B could be in and we could be working on the C, which could take us all the way down to about 43. All right, now 43, is that out of the realm of possibility? Well, let's just take a look here. So again, dominant pivot high, dominant pivot low. I'm going to call this a pretty dominant pivot down here. Then we've got our internal retracement, the pullback right here. It's very possible we go down to 43,700. Okay, that would have to happen within the next 2 days or so, maybe day and a half. It would have to happen sometime in that range. That would be a great place to be buying, in my opinion. I could be completely wrong. I could be reading this all incorrectly, but nonetheless, what we saw right here, this is very corrective, right? We had basically 3 moves up from the bottom. I'm going to ignore the big wick from right here. We had 1, 2, 3 moves up. We didn't have a 4, 5. So that's not impulsive. That's corrective. And then from there, what did we see? Well, we had, a hump, a larger hump, and then a little hump, and then it broke down, a little bit of a head and shoulders action, but it didn't follow through. So the next thing that you're going to have people talking about is, all right, well, what do we have here? Well, we've got a left shoulder, we've got a head, we've got a right shoulder. If this is actually going to happen, if this is really going to happen, we're not going to come down here. And what we have to have happen, we have to break up, retest it, and then we can go up to our target, which again is somewhere between 52 and 54. Some things that are on our side here is we've got, the indicator is basically saying that you should have been buying earlier today. And I know that there's a lot of people on the Discord that were buying earlier today. So you've got that in our favor. We do have the 12 hour, which has crossed bullish. You can see that by the lime green candle. When you get a lime green candle, that is a signal that our indicator has fired bullish on the higher time frame. Now the weekly doesn't look great. Weekly doesn't look great, which is why I'm really only looking for a move up to, up in this area between 52 and 54. I'm not looking for a move up to new highs right now. I'm still thinking that we're probably going to see actually even lower prices, but lower as in probably closer to 40, but I do think we're going to make a move up to between 52 and 54 first. So that's my my initial thought here. All right, so let's move on and let's start taking a look at some other things. I did see a request come in for ACH. So let's go ahead and take a look at ACH USD. I'm going to look at the Coinbase chart. So let me just go ahead and clean this all off because we've got a lot going on here. I actually think ACH is pretty much down to a significant bottom. I'm going to move to a 4-hour time frame here. What I want to focus on is this right here, from this low to this high and the correction. Okay, so we were talking earlier on the server today, where is the best place to be buying more ACH? And I think we're getting close. So I'm on a log scale. If I move off of log scale and onto arithmetic scale, just take a look at this. We're sitting on the 100 right now. But again, just like Bitcoin, okay? Just like Bitcoin, we've got one big move down, another touch, another touch. We're not making any new highs yet, though. That's the concerning part. Because after each one of these bounces, okay, let's just take a look here. The bottom right here, we hit the 30 simple moving average on the 4-hour. Then we rejected that. We actually respected the 30 simple average for a while, but then when we touched this same bottom again, we bounced up, but we didn't make it as high, okay? Let's just take a look at it from this perspective. What we've got, let's see here, we've got this guy right there. That's a high. After the next bounce, we've got this high right here. And then after this one, where are we going to go? That's a really great question. We are being suppressed by these moving averages right now. Actually, all the moving averages look pretty bearish at the moment. Now, does it look like it's a good time, a good place to be buying? Actually, I do. I think ACH is probably going to make a push at least up here to this 200 exponential. As you can see on the hourly, just like most of the other charts, we had a push up above the 200 and then we were rejected. Next time we wicked to the 200 when we rejected. The next time we had several wicks at the 200, but each time it was making a lower high. Okay? But now we're being rejected by the 30 simple moving average, yet again, here on the hourly. I need to see a significant move up. Like, we need to get above these moving averages. We're below the 21 on the hourly. If we take a look at the 4-hour, it looks absolutely disgusting. Okay, the 4-hour has been suppressing for quite some time. We pushed up above, then we got rejected at the 55. Okay, so these moving averages are important. Okay, they're important. If we can get above the 21 exponential, I would be looking to buy a little bit more. Just a full disclaimer, I do own a little bit of ACH. And I do want to buy more because I think that there is great potential here, but I do have to, kind of take care of my portfolio and be very careful there. I do believe that as long as we can get above some of these major moving averages, and really, I'd love to get above the 55 on the 4-hour, because as you can see, we had some support way back here at the 55. And then once it broke down, that was resistance. It became resistance very quickly. There's a wick test there. Then we had a wick test of the 200 exponential on the 4-hour. And then basically you had the 21 as resistance for quite some time until we had a decent move up. But even then, the 55 became resistance again. So you've got to be very careful with this. So even though I see that there are signs of a bottom here, this could be a triple bottom. It's very possible this is a triple bottom. I got to see a new high. I got to see a move up above the 55 exponential on that 4-hour. I got to see a move up above this high right here, create a new high, or at least new local high. That would be fantastic. Just looking at that level in particular, what do we see here on the 4-hour? Let's just, do some real simple analysis here. What do we have right here at this high? That was, resistance. Well, back here we had support, and then we had support, now it's resistance. And then you can also see back here, I could probably move this up just a little bit, and you can still see it still respects these price levels. Right here is the next level. It's going to be at about 7.4 cents. We had a little bit of resistance here. We had support here. We had resistance here. So if we do find ourselves getting ourselves up above the 21 exponential, first we're going to get resistance right here at 6.73 cents. Then we're going to have resistance at 7.37 cents. Okay, it's really as simple as that. And then of course I could continue and draw out support and resistance levels, but these are the two that are key, that are important to me right now. Of course, we have the moving average, which is that's variable. It's going to change over time. But I'd love to see us get and hold above the 21 exponential, but really I want to get above that 55. So I might buy a little bit if we can close a 4-hour above the 21 exponential, but I really would love to get above that 55. That's really what I'd be looking for. All right, let's keep on going. I'm going to take a look at DOT. All right, what do we have here on DOT? Let me move to the 1 hour, start from there. We have a nice little move up. We had actually a pretty significant buy signal on dot. So actually this looks good as far as the indicator goes. Which, by the way, if you're not a member and you want access to our indicator, you can visit bitdoctor.org and you can find all the information you need to access our Discord, access our trading room, access our indicator as well. All the details are available there. There's actually a promo code that I'll talk about at the end of the video for New Year's Eve. So it's New Year 2022, New Year 2022 for new members, and you'll get a little bit of a discount on your first month's subscription by using that promo code. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, we had a really good buy signal back here. This was actually today at about 9 o'clock this morning. We had a good buy signal. We had the 12-hour cross. Yeah, we got rejected off that 55. That 55. That's going to be both a magnet in both directions. You're going to see it pull the price towards it, but then once it gets there, it's probably going to get a rejection at least at first. So in the hourly, yeah, we're getting the rejection off the 55. And we're actually trading below the 21 now, which is not great. The hourly looks like it still has a little bit more room to go. If we can get one more move and hold this level right here, key level on dot right now is $24. We got to stay above 24 bucks. Okay, because if we can stay above $24, let me move to a 15-minute here and just take a look at this, okay? I'd actually love to go to a 5-minute because this actually looks pretty clean. Actually, this looks really, really great. I'd love to go to a 1-minute, but I'm not gonna put you guys through that. So let's just take a look and see here. From the bottom, I see a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and actually I'm gonna put the 3 up there, and I'm gonna put the 4 right here. I think that it looks pretty clean. Okay, you see the 3, 4, and then we made the new high there on the 5. And I could probably count a nice, off this 2, which, an ABC, and then I can count a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if I wanted to dig into it, but I don't want to dig into it too much. What I want to focus on the most here is the fact that we've got a nice little correction. And this is for all the guys that were watching my Elliott Wave video. So we have a nice little correction, nice ABC off of that. And where did we actually land on the pullback there? That looks like it went to the 50 or the 618. So let's just take a look here. I'm just eyeballing it. So dominant pivot low, dominant pivot high. Where did our pullback go? It actually went deeper than the 618. I'm not on log scale, but I mean, it was a good pullback. It went a little deeper than the 618, which I suppose that's okay. That's all right. It didn't violate this low down here, which is what's really the most important. So let's see if we can target an upside move with the trend-based fib extension. Dominant pivot low, dominant pivot high. I'm going to try and get that as close as I can, and then we're going to get the pullback. All right, so the 1618 has already been realized. That price target was identified all the way back here on this pullback, okay? So we've had, we had a decent buy signal back here, and we had the target already outlined, which has already been realized. So that right there, that target at 24.60 has already been realized. So again, if we can stay above $24, then I believe we're going to go to the 2618, which is going to be our next target, which is all the way up here at about $25.30. We'll call it $25 just to keep things, nice and simple. That target is there. That target's there. Let's use our fib retracement. Just take a look at this from the bottom of wave 2 to the top of wave 3. If this is that type of a move, we came down to the 50, which is a little deeper than wave 4s usually go. And again, the way that I'm counting this right now is from the bottom here, we've got the 1, we've got the 2, and I'm going to change the degree on this here in just a minute. Then we've got the 3, which I believe is done. We've got the 4, which is probably back here. Then we're going to go up for the 5 on a higher degree. So let's just put that in a higher degree. I'm going to change the color for contrast purposes. It looks to me like this is what is currently going on. On the 3-minute, you're starting to get to that point where things are getting oversold again. So this looks good for a move to the upside. What's your, what's a good trade on this? Not that I'm suggesting anything, this is all just for educational purposes, but if it violates that wave 1, well, then this count is not right. You're literally risking less than 1% for potential for, our target right there is 5%. Now, for a lot of you, 5%, maybe that's not great. Maybe you want more. Maybe you want 20%, 30%. Honestly, you're doing yourself a disservice looking for huge gains. This is a reasonable trade setup, and basically, as you can see, you can adjust this. As the time goes by to manage your risk a little bit better. You could layer in, average in, whatever you want. You could even take your risk management and reduce your risk all the way back here again at $24. We got to stay above 24. I've got the stop loss here at 23.96, which is based off of this high right here. So DOT looks really great. DOT looks good for a move to the upside. And again, that target is sitting all the way up here. And it's a 5% trade for a 0.5% risk. Okay, so if you're going to put in, $100, you're only really risking, you're barely risking anything at all, and you're looking for a 5% trade, which that's going to give you a little bit of profit, but that's really not bad. It's 8.79, 8.8 to 1 risk to reward. It looks pretty good. Again, that's all the way down to a 3-minute time frame, but let's take a look at this longer term. Let's get into a higher time frame here and just take a look at this. DOT on the daily. This looks like we are in a falling wedge, and boy, I tell you. Now, again, I was talking about that target at about, what did I say, about $25? If we're taking a look at it from this perspective, what we're basically in the middle of right now is this, this falling wedge. I could pull this down here. Try and fit my bias a little bit better. But if we do actually come out of this, again, let's take a look at this. Again, we're on a higher time frame here. We're creating bullish divergence like crazy on DOT. If you can see this is just a MACD histogram. Nothing special about this, but we're basically creating higher low after higher low after higher low while the price is making lower low after lower low after lower low. This looks really actually pretty bullish. It really does. And if you want to hold longer, you want more than that 5% trade, okay, I'm going to get back on log scale here. We're at the 50 right now. We're at the 50. Can we come down to the 618? Yes. Is it likely? Yeah, actually it is. It is pretty likely. But if we come down here to the 618, man, the daily is oversold. The 12 hours oversold. The weekly is getting so close. It's really setting up for a good move. We're looking for a move up to $81. 81.52. If we come down here to the 618, I'll absolutely take this trade. So right here, place in this trade right there. And then you're looking to, keep a reasonable stop loss. And for crypto, we're talking a little bit more than usual, more than I'd like to do on stocks. But that's a 300% trade if we come back down here to the golden zone, right? So, don't take my stop loss, for what it is, right? I'm just kind of putting it here as a placeholder. Honestly, what it looks like is this level right here, 1767, is going to have to hold. And again, the same thing that I do on most things. Right there, I'm on a daily chart. So this level is going to be very important on the daily. Okay? You've got support here, resistance, more support here. And then kind of moving my way up, you've got the same thing right here. You've got support here, you've got resistance here, more support here, more support, more support. You know the story. So if we come down here, again, it could take some time. Maybe it goes into Christmas. But what I'd actually say is it looks pretty good now at the 50. So I believe there is a scalp to be made on DOT here where it's at right now at $24, at 24.07. It's right on the 50 right now on log scale. So it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. All right. So that's kind of what I see right now. Let me see. I don't have my moving averages. Let's put those on here. We are well below the 21, the 55, and let's see. I've got the 200 exponential with the wrong color here. Yeah, so we're below a lot of major moving averages. We have a bearish cross on the 55 and the 100. Now again, magnet. I mentioned that earlier. More than likely, that 55 is going to act like a magnet. That's going to take us up to wherever it is. Right now it's at 33.48. So is there a little trade? Again, is there a little scalp to take right here? I think there actually probably is. And if you wanted to keep it, the risk pretty small and manageable, what I'm looking at is, something a little bit like this. Again, don't take this blindly, right? But basically what I'm doing is I'm just putting my stop loss at the bottom of the wick from Is that from yesterday or today? That's from yesterday. The wick from yesterday, because it is now 7:08, so the day just started. So that bottom of that wick is where I would hold my stop loss, right? So you're looking at about 4% stop for approximately a 37% gain. Now, probably is not going to get to 37%. Just full disclosure, it's going to take a few days, and every day that goes by, the lower these moving averages are going to go. So you're going to want to take profit at that 55 when it gets there. This 200 on the daily, it had some nice support there, and then it bounced, and then it rejected, and it fell right through it. It tried to get support again, but then it just fell, right? So you're going to get a lot of resistance moving forward. Maybe you want to take some profit along the way, which I would highly suggest. But nonetheless, there is some bullish divergence here to pay attention to. Our waves indicator looks pretty good on the 12-hour and on the daily on dot. We can see that right here. Let me just zoom in on this so you can see the green is our daily right now because I'm on a daily chart. The red is the 12-hour and it's crossed up. So yeah, it actually looks pretty good. Dot looks pretty good in this general area. I love it more at $20, but I really like it here at 24. And again, we've got some moving averages on the daily we have to chew through, but it's nothing that is impossible. And I do think that there is a little bit of a trade to be made here. Again, I'm thinking about taking this move up here to 5% trade short term, potentially up to that 25.33, keeping a really strict stop loss. That's what makes or breaks you. You got to have good risk management on your trades. Otherwise, you are going to end up losing all your money, and you don't want that. All right. So let's keep on going. Let's take a look at Link. Ted asked for an analysis on Chainlink. Been a while since I've taken a look at Chainlink. I'm going to clear whatever's on here before I zoom out. I'm going to go to the daily first, and just to see, again, where our important moving averages are. This looks, boy, it's trying. That weekly is getting low. The last time the weekly got down into oversold, you can see what happened. That signified a bottom pretty well. Because you had the weekly, the daily, the 12-hour that were all in oversold basically at the very, very bottom. Right here, you had a great confluence for a high probability trade. Even the 3-hour was down here as well. This was a great place to be buying, right? So, but now you may be asking because you're like, all right, well, I want to get in. I want to get in. Is this a good place to get in? Well, again, I'm going to use my fib. Dominant pivot low, dominant pivot high. We had a pullback to the 786. We're just kind of bouncing around between the 618 and the 786. Honestly, I would love for Chainlink to get above $20. Mostly because that 618 is actually in an area of high confluence for quite some while. I'm gonna put a line there at 1999. Then I'm gonna zoom out. I'm on the daily here. Okay, what do we see on the daily at 1999? We see support here, resistance here, and now it's currently below it. We had resistance here, right? So let me just zoom in and show that to you real quick. Again, resistance. There was some resistance here. It broke up, but then it broke down, okay? So we closed up above it, but then the next day it just sold into it. So this level is important, and it's important going back quite a ways. Right here, we broke up above. We held that as support, then we broke up. And then here you can see we tried to break down. We retested the 21 exponential, and then we flew up, and then that 21 just basically carried us all the way up here to about $35. Zooming out right there. Do you see that? Okay, and I did not even see that, right? All of this that I'm doing right now is all live. This is the first time that I'm looking at this as I'm charting this out for you. That level right there, you can see it, clear as day. I marked that level, I zoomed out, and it was right there, $20, right there. Rejection. That is resistance. That is textbook resistance. So you're going to have a natural support and resistance level right there at $20. Of course, it's a psychological level, which is important as well. But right there, that is a fib level. That is the 618 off of this move. That is the high right here from back in August of 2020. That level, we got to break up above $20. If we can close a daily above $20, then we can talk. But for right now, let's go to the hourly and just see what it looks like. It looks very similar to Bitcoin. We do have a 1 hour and a 3 hour buy. The weekly is getting kind of low, but that 12-hour is crossing. It looks like it either is crossing or it's crossing bearish right now. So yeah, we had a bullish cross there, but it's being sold into. So, you know, we're above the 21 exponential and hourly, which is, it is what it is, but we are being suppressed by the 55. So unless we can get above, 18, 90, $19, I would say that there's probably not a really great trade here. The hourly is kind of in that point where it's kind of overbought, right? You've got the bearish cross on the 12 hour. Doesn't really look all that great on Chainlink. Let's take a look at Link versus Bitcoin, because this is really what drives the whole thing. What does Chainlink versus Bitcoin do? Is finding some support here on the 200 simple on the hourly. But again, bearish cross on Link versus Bitcoin, bearish cross moving downward on the hourly right here. Like, yeah, the 3 hour is starting to creep up, but it looks to me like it wants to push down a little bit more. So I would just be very, very cautious. This looks ABC corrective. This looks corrective. This whole move right here, it looks very corrective to me. So I would say to be very cautious because, again, this looks corrective. It doesn't look really all that impulsive based on just what it looks like to me, at least. So I would be very careful right here. Because it's possible this is setting up for a bigger move down. Let me look at this on the 4 hour. You've got the 21 and the 55 attempting to break bearish here. Yes, you've got the 4 hour, which is in oversold. You've got the 3 hour, which is in oversold. But, I have to reiterate the importance of confluence across all of these different time frames. That's why they're there, right? We use our indicator on the 1 hour time frame and look for confluence along all of these guys. Like, I would have been looking to buy, back here in this area, which wasn't the bottom, but that was a good play. All the way back here. Let me move to Link versus Tether. Okay, so again, you've got the 1 hour and the 3 hour. This is back here. I mean, it's pretty darn close to the bottom. Back here at 1781, you had the 12 hour, which was, getting down. It was in the neutral zone, but it was moving down. And to be fair, the price did move down a little bit, but that 3 hour was moving up and it was looking pretty good. Very similar. I mean, I got to be honest with you guys. It looks very similar to what it did back here, right? You had a little bit of a move up after a buy, then move down, right? That's very likely what's going to happen. So this 3 hour probably just going to keep on creeping up. But the difference between what happened back here and what's happening right now is that 12 hour just crossed bearish versus the 12 hour had been moving down for a while. So again, just be careful. Take a look at Luna versus Tether. This is also something that was requested here. So we're going to take a look at this. This is something that I have already looked at previously. We were taking a look at, a nice A, B, C correction, finding that support there at the 100. We did come all the way down here to the 1236. This was about a week ago. We went down to the 1236. I said at the time that there probably was going to be some support here at about 56. It went down to the 1236 at 53, and look where it's at now. It's at 81. So this, this looks good. Actually, I mean, like, not for a trade right now. Okay, not for a trade right now. I would not take a trade here right now. What did we have right here? We had the 1 hour, the 3 hour, and the 12 hour all in oversold all at the exact same time. I talk about this all the time. This is exactly what we want to see. This is exactly when we want to buy, and this is exactly why we want to buy. It is literally as simple as looking at the 1 hour, the 3 hour, and the 12 hour. With the weekly is way overbought, but the weekly takes so much time for it to do anything. Luna looks great. Luna looks good. Let's just look at targets, okay? So if we've got an impulse here, if we've got 5 waves up, we get the pullback. Well, here's our 2618, which it looks like we're getting ready to hit right now. Right, we did fly through the 1618, so I believe this is a 1, 2, and then we're working on the 3 here. Okay, so let me just go ahead and outline this for you from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, then we're going to go for the 4 and for the 5. Right, all the moving averages on the hourly look great. Honestly, look at these. These all look fantastic. They're all pointing upwards. That the lower time frame moving average, so the 21 period, is going to kind of bounce around a little bit, but all these guys look very, very healthy. And then off of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 1, 2, and then we've got the 3, we've got the 4, and then we're working on that 5, which again is pretty much almost done. That 5 is almost there. It's probably going to hit that target right there at that 2618, which it looks like it's getting ready to. It's at about 8310, right? Gosh, you know what? Actually, it got pretty close to that. I would say that that is almost valid to complete that move. It was at 83.10 and it got to $83. You know, it's 10 cents away from the algo target. I say that's a valid hit. So more than likely, probably going to pull back a little bit from up here. So I'm going to say that that 3 is in, and we're going to be moving down to correct this larger move. And where is this likely going to target? Well, let's just take a look here. Take it from the bottom of the 2 to the top of the 3, approximately where we're at right now. And let's just go ahead and take a look at this. There's a 382. I'm going to put the 236 on here as well, $75. Likely that's probably where it's going to go. And again, looking left, what do we have when we look left? We've got resistance here, should be support. We've got resistance here, should be support. Resistance here, should be support. I'm going to put a line there and you can see it. It's all going to kind of come together. Right here, we had wicks up above, that was resistance. Right here, we had a little bit of clustering, it was sold off, that's resistance. Right here, clustering, it was resistance, finally broke through, came back, found a little bit of support, retested that 55 on the hourly, but then we broke up and then we were hitting our target. So if we come back here to the 236, well, then I'm going to be taking a look for that wave 5. I'm going to put the 3618 on here, although I don't believe it's going to get to the 3618. Let's just take a look at what that target is. 3618 is at basically at $100, $97.67. Somewhere between $92 and $97 more than likely is where Luna's going to land. So that's just what my thoughts are right now. I do believe it is going to get a little bit of a pullback first, maybe $5-6 from where it's at right now. I think that would be healthy. I think that would be actually needed. I do think it's going to take some time, right? Because that 12-hour, it could stay up here for a while, but I want to see the hourly move down. I'd like to see the hourly reset. I'd love to see the 3-hour reset. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but that's what I'd like to see. Those upside targets are still going to be sitting there at about $92 to $97. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Avax. All right, so Avax, I posted this trade during one of my other videos that I was doing. So far, so good. So far, so good. We had a nice pitchfork on this. We were targeting basically the median here. But here's the thing. I'm going to take off the moving averages for a moment just to clean this up just a little bit so you can see this. I'm going to go to a 4-hour time frame just so I can show you where this pitchfork is coming from. I think LO is the one that kind of pointed this out. We've got a dominant pivot low, dominant pivot high, 618 pullback. That target's at 175, okay? So we talk about this all the time. Taking the 618, taking it to the negative 236. These are some of the highest probability trades that you can take. So if we do push through this median here, which if we hit it now, or at least within the next couple days, I think it's going to make it to this quadrant here, which is, again, still going to take us up to maybe even higher, right? Let me just take a look at this from trend-based fib extension, dominant pivot low, dominant pivot high. Let's get the pullback right there. That would take the target all the way up here. That'd be a 145% trade. Now, where are we at right now? We're at 27% profit from a free video that I put up on YouTube. Very, very simple. But this is kind of what it's looking like. And it looks like we've got the 1 and we've got the 2 in. Previously, we didn't have this, but now I believe that we do. I think we've got the 1, 2. Okay. I'm going to go back off a 4-hour and I'm going to go down to the 2-hour here. And just to kind of look at this a little bit closer. So from this low, you can count a little 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, ABC into the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 1. I believe this is a 5-wave structure. I believe it's intact. I believe it looks good. Then we have a nice little ABC to complete this wave 2. Then again, I'm going to use trend-based fib extension on the smaller move so I can see if this is making sense. From the bottom, dominant pivot low, dominant pivot high, we'll get our pullback here. Now again, maybe we go a little bit lower. If we go a little bit lower, we'll make some adjustments. But we're taking a look at that 1618, and actually that 1618 is looking pretty good. And I believe that that's probably where this is going to go, right here. to for the wave 3, looks like it wants to come all the way up here, which means that wave 4 and wave 5 are actually going to be a little bit higher. If we can get above the median, okay, if we can get above the median, that 2618 is going to be sitting right there for us to take some profit at the 2618 getting into mid-January. Okay, so Avax looks okay. Avax looks good. You know, we had a good entry here. You can see it didn't get stopped. I mean, we had a 6.6% stop loss on this, which for crypto is not bad. But now we're talking about managing the position that we've got open. You could still obviously take profit here and make a 95% trade. Nothing wrong with that. If we do get up there, though, I would be more interested in moving my stop loss to somewhere that is a nice area of support and resistance where we should find support, and then have a thesis there. Okay, well, this wave 1, if we push up above this level, well, you can move your stop loss right here. I would not do it until the price gets to the 175. Once it hits the 175, move your stop loss to 117, because what that means, more than likely, we're going to come back here to about 147, which is going to be the high back here. Find some support there. Maybe it's going to be at the median. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But then it's going to go up higher. Then I think from there, you move your stop loss up a little bit more. Maybe move it up here to about 127. You get the idea. We're moving our stop loss up while we're in a very profitable position. Because once you have 100% on a trade, you don't want to be super greedy. I mean, sure, you can take some off the table. Take half off the table, and it becomes a free trade for you. You can literally go to zero, and then you don't lose anything. But a lot has to happen between now and then. But, the trade, we posted that on the video last week or so. When was this? This was way back on the 14th. So almost a week ago, we were talking about this. And now that we're here, we are in manage the trade mode. So I think more than likely it's going to see these higher prices. But it's going to be really important for us to break up above that 117. So for right now, you could move the stop loss to break even if you'd like to do that. So you basically have a free trade here. But nonetheless, I think that this looks like a solid structure up. And maybe we have an A, B, and then we go down here for the wave C, which is very possible that this does sell off into, maybe Christmas Eve or so, down here to about 96.50. If it gets 96.50, yeah, I'd be a buyer as a new trade, right? But that buy here at 89.50, that was also good as well. Shiba Inu. Okay, let's take a look at SHIB. Currently down 53%, actually down, yeah, it's currently down 53.41% from when I told everybody that they need to sell. So a lot of the people on the Discord made a significant amount of money on Shiba Inu because we were buying it when literally nobody was talking about it. We were buying it back here in this red box, and I know that I've said this numerous times. I bought back here because it was in consolidation for like a year. It was just moving around here sideways for a year. We had a big move down, right? But then we had a nice move up. I took some profit here. I reloaded down here. And then, once it started moving up, I took some profit here. But then when we got up here, I saw more signs of there being, it looked like consolidation at the time, but I thought, you know what? We had some consolidation and we broke out. So now we're going to have some consolidation. Everybody's going to say, yep, it's going to break out again. And that is literally what everybody was saying. And then I put a notification out on the Discord that, hey, we're up like almost 1,000% if you're still holding from where we bought. So yeah, you should just sell. And now it's down 53%. So now everybody's trying to catch the next 1,000% move on Shiba Inu. It is not going to happen. Not going to happen. I'm sorry. Like, I can say that with about 87.5% certainty that it is not going to go up another 1,000%. Right? That move is gone. The move is gone. Okay, so and I'm sorry if you're really a big Shiba Inu fan. I'll take a trade every now and again on Shiba Inu, but right now I don't think it's the time. Yeah, it had a nice bounce up, right? You had the 1 hour, the 3 hour, and the 12 hour said buy, just like a lot of alts did. And actually from down here, whoops, let me fix this. Get back to my chart. Okay, sorry. From down here, it's up 7.3% on the day. It went up as high as 15%. we really got to see this guy start to make new highs, because it's still just like everything else. It's creating lower high after lower high after lower high. And let's go to the 4-hour here. What are we being suppressed by? We're being suppressed by the 55. We're being suppressed by the 21. It doesn't look all that great right now. It's trying to get some support above the 21 exponential on the 4-hour. So it needs a little bit of time. But ultimately, I'd love to see this weekly reset. That's the one thing that I would love to see. All right, guys, I've been going for about 45 minutes here. Thanks for everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. And if you need access to our Discord, if you need access to our indicator, if you need access to our education on LE wave theory, risk management, trade ideas, all that is available on BitDoctor.org. And again, we have a coupon code for brand new members for insured membership, which is New Year 2022, which you can apply on checkout at BitDoctor.org. If this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And of course, wherever you're in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and a good evening. Take care, everyone.